The Savage Situation Gaming Podcast has been absolutely unbelievable this season. We've had some incredible guests throughout the course of it. This season we've had like Quibblecop, DanTDM, Shocks. I mean, the list is endless. Now, obviously, because of COVID this year, I haven't had a chance to film these episodes. What I've done instead is put together a few highlights of these episodes, some of the best bits, some clips that you guys can check out and listen to. If you like what you hear, do head on over to the main podcast and listen to the whole thing in its entirety. Here's a highlight for you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. And enjoy this. There must have been, I guess, for every creator, there's a game changer moment, a moment where you kind of go from making videos casually and kind of getting a little bit of money here and there, but suddenly there's a bang, there's a big boom in something or other. Do you remember the kind of like the time and the moment in your life, or like the particular video or the sort of happening that you kind of thought, wow, this is actually starting to get pretty wild now?
The moment for me that sticks in my brain, there's a few things. So there was a guy called Skydoes Minecraft, who was the biggest by far Minecraft YouTuber on YouTube, like killing it, absolutely destroying it. If you watched Minecraft videos, you watched Skydoes Minecraft. And he commented on one of my videos once, and that, like, I woke up, like before I'd be able to wake up to maybe 5 emails for like a new sub or a new comment. But I remember waking up and I was like, why do I have hundreds of emails? What has happened? And I had to go back through just to try and find what happened. And I went back to the earliest one, and there was like, Skydoes Minecraft commented on your video. And then that would automatically send traffic. The way YouTube worked back then is it would send traffic to that video. And then I think it was Cupquake as well. A YouTuber called IHasCupquake gave me a shout out in one of her videos. And from then, and just a couple videos hitting the algorithm properly, it just went like
A rocket.
Yeah, literally like a rocket. I want to say it was on 1 million, but I don't know if that's true. But it was quick. Like within a year, that was my full-time job.
Wow. So a year is nothing really. So it kind of happened over. I mean, that's a huge amount of growth so quickly. So I guess when you have those shout outs as well, you've suddenly got all this new traction. Not only is YouTube promoting the video, but it's also, you've got all these new subscribers who are notified when a new video is live, and therefore, you know, it's like a snowball effect. It suddenly spikes with views, and it gets promoted more, and it suddenly you're making. Yeah. And back then there weren't that many people doing it still, so it must have just been crazy. Yeah,
and even like Twitch was tiny back then. YouTube was gaining traction in the gaming space specifically, but you still weren't aware that people were making money and turning it into a job, like a career, because it was so fresh and new. Like you would watch YouTubers, but you wouldn't be aware that. I don't think some of the YouTubers I was watching back then did it as a full-time job. But then when like the second and third years of the Diamond Minecart were the years where gaming on YouTube just went crazy. Like the numbers that gaming, like all of the top channels on YouTube were gaming channels, and just that's part of the luck of it, I guess. I was there right time with the right content, I guess.
My kind of introduction to you and to your content was very interesting. So obviously I did some work with Activision. I was working with some YouTubers with Call of Duty and those kind of games, and I was learning about kind of like the YouTube industry as I was going, kind of thinking, wow, these kind of creators who are making these videos. And I kind of knew of, you know, the big names and things, and I was brought in to produce Legends of Gaming. If you remember Legends of Gaming, Dan. And it was, I mean, I mentioned this in another episode, but 22 of the world's biggest YouTubers, and we had like, you know, huge names. But I remember the moment that the production team there said to me, oh, we've got a very special guest for one day of the live show. We've got DanTDM, who's going to be coming along to the live show at Alexandra Palace in London. And I remember the entire internet kind of breaking. How excited they were.
No,
like
I've just had flashbacks.
Mate, it was nuts. It was nuts. Mental. And I remember because back then, like you had really taken off at this point. I think your channel was just humongous to any. I mean, because primarily your kind of fan base on the channel is a younger audience. So you have this every kid the world over. DanTDM is the guy, man. He's the guy making Minecraft videos, and he's the dude. And so you had this suddenly this special appearance, this random appearance happening at Legends of Gaming. I remember being there on the show floor when you arrived, and it was like watching a rock star being chased around an arena. It was crazy,
literally insane. Like I didn't at that point do many in-person appearances because I was a very shy dude. I didn't want to do them, but I did. I think I did Insomnia at that point. Insomnia was the only one I would go to, and that happened like 3 times a year. It was one of my favorite events, and still some of my best experiences come from that event. Those events were amazing, and then I feel like it was a little bit last minute as well.
It
I
was.
decided to go to Legends of Gaming for a day, and then I
Yeah.
put a video up announcing the meet and greets, and then that was a whole
like trying to explain
mess.
to our listeners right now about the kind of like the craziness, the pandemonium that ensued.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like, don't forget here, it's not Dan is one of, like, there are 22 other of the biggest creators in the world, like massive YouTube superstars.
Yeah.
But you were announced that you were coming along, it took it to another level. And so, I mean, I remember some of the parents and because I was obviously there as a producer at the time. I wasn't hosting that particular thing, but I got to be on the kind of the show floor and just all around me, just see like this barrage of people just going from one area to the next, going, I hear Dan's gone to this toilet, run! I hear Dan's buying flumps and rainbow drops at this till, go! You know, watching it was just absolutely extraordinary, and that was a real kind of taste for me of like what your life must have been like, you know, living like Aerosmith or Bon Jovi, just like this kind of crazy, like these amazing fans who obviously
it was a bit of a whirlwind.
I mean, was that? I mean, you say you were quite shy growing up. I mean, was it? I mean, that for you must have been like hugely overwhelming. Or were you? How did you handle that personally? Like, how was that for you?
I found like meet and greets and stuff really quite difficult. I don't know, because like in person, and even to this day, I'd say I'm still quite a reserved kind of person. Like I'm not really my full 100% comfortable self unless I know you for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were doing meet and greets in the same room with people like Syndicate, who had been on YouTube for years and years before I started, and Vicstar and Ali A. These guys have been doing it for ages, and then I rock up. It was quite intimidating, I think. And I'd seen all these other people doing it so well. I was like, oh man, I really need to step up here.
Because this is obviously still in a time when you know, YouTube was still kind of an emerging area for particularly parents kind of getting used to their kids suddenly idolizing less Cristiano Ronaldo, more DanTDM. So there's a kind of a switch from like traditional celebrity to internet like kind of like phenomenon. And I think a lot of parents were saying, Who's this Dan guy? All my kids talk about is Dan. And we'd have to be like, well, yeah, he's a popular guy. And they were like, where is he? And then when you kind of, you know, obviously there were so many people there trying to meet you. It's I mean, for you, it must have been hugely overwhelming. You know, and it was an amazing experience to kind of to watch that and see that. And that was a kind of a moment for me, a real click where I kind of thought, wow, this is so much bigger than you ever kind of, you know, when you hear about it, but seeing it happen live, you think, wow, this is on a completely different playing field. I didn't realize the scale of this thing. This is just one of the many highlights of the episodes available to you right now in the full episode list. It's down below. There is a link. Click that. It takes you to that platform where you can choose the landing page where you want to listen to the podcast in its entirety. It's all there for you. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media as well. All the links are below. I look forward to seeing you on the next one for the next highlight. Take care. Sav out.